finally, we have some almost concrete information in regards to the actual Shadowlands ending. As 9.2 is not out yet, obviously we're still in the gathering the crumb stage, but there is some information that is all but an official confirmation to the ending of this entire storyline. If you watched my previous videos, we got a prototype deactivated jailer model, which we could only speculate on what it was exactly, but now we have the other piece of the puzzle, so it all makes sense now. On top of that, we also have some achievements that reveal what will happen at the end of the expansion, so spoilers aside, what is all this new info and how exactly does Shadowlands end? Record your raids, arenas, Mythic Plus, all with Squadovie, the app that you just install, and it records itself without a click of a button. Aside from watching your friend's perspective and analyzing your performance, you can see complete encounter stats, spell visualizations, and a bunch of other things. Best of all, it can be done from anywhere, just from the web app. Check out Squadovie completely free with my link in the description. I am aware that if you watch all my videos, the information is kinda repeated, but the reality is that is just a stage of the PTR. Some days we get a ton of information, some days we get bits and pieces, but over time it makes sense as we get a clearer picture of what is actually going on. So in one of the latest videos I've made, I've covered the most recent jailer prototype model that was just data mined a few days ago. That robot looking thing on his knees that was kind of just dropped on us out of nowhere, and the best we could do is speculate on what exactly that is, and there were a few theories that made sense. Turns out, my speculation was almost entirely on point. If you remember the old information, and if you haven't heard it, big spoiler alert, but yes, the jailer is defeated. I know everyone waited for this. 9.2 is the ending of the Shadowlands, or at least it is the ending of this entire main storyline. Maybe there will be 9.3, there is some other storyline, but honestly I doubt it. About a month and a half ago, we had data mined the jailer's actual death animation, which was kinda big information, but I can't say it really meant all that much at the time. As you know, many models in the game use the rigs from other models, so pretty much all of them have some sort of a death animation, even if you don't actually kill them in the lore. For example, Troll has a death animation, and obviously he is still alive. Jailer's original death animation looked incredibly generic, similar to regular humans, so it wasn't really confirmation that he is dead. However, the latest build of the PTR just updated that, and guess what? This animation is like the biggest spoiler out of everything that was revealed thus far. The actual fight is still unclear, but we sort of know the progression on what is going to happen. With Rianduin, we seem to find a way to counter strong domination magic through the Helm of Domination, and we get into some sort of a crazy cosmological battle where Zobal reaches the core of the universe and Azeroth, and he's literally chucking cosmological energy at our world soul, which implies that Azeroth is empowering this entire mechanism. There seems to be a hint that an avatar of Sargeras appears, and then a whole bunch of world soul stuff happens, which will be the key to the future of the game. But ultimately, Zobal is defeated, and right now we know that he is actually killed. We don't know whether it is us, the players, that deal the killing blow, or someone else that acts as the avatar, but yes, he is gone. The jailer is defeated. Now, if you observe the animation itself, he is hit, he falls on his knees and just kind of freezes there as if he dies on his knees. Now, guess what? That drained robot model that we had observed is in the exact same position, which all but 100% confirms that this is not some long discarded jailer prototype found in some vault that we accidentally ran into in the Sepulchre, but it is literally us draining the life out of Zobal, leaving him as a non-functioning robot, meaning we 100% kill him. If you're unfamiliar with this information, at this point it is all but confirmed that the Eternal Ones, the Pantheon of Death, were created by the first ones within the Sepulchre, which is their workshop. Actually, in the raid, we fight their initial versions as they're turned into weapons by the jailer through domination magic. The actual raid description says that this was their early versions that proved too fanatical that they bordered unstable, so they were discarded and a new prototype was used, more than likely the ones that are currently alive, so they're the tame versions. However, this actually has huge implications for the story. See, what was confusing this entire time was that Zobal was not present in the fight, and we know he is a part of this family family he was created as well. So it is possible that Zowal was this original fanatical batch, which is why he's so crazy right now, and that they couldn't get him under control. Maybe this was the reason why the other Eternal ones were made from a different prototype. It is possible that those were his original brothers and sisters, the fanatical bunch that were deactivated. This bug in the mechanism may have been revealed as Zowal had rebelled all those years ago. It also explains why his brothers and sisters are so against him, because maybe they're not really even his true brothers and sisters. Why it is certain that Zowal has been this robot thing this entire time is because of the new model. Unlike the original prototypes of the Pantheon, this one is clearly scarred and affected what had happened recently, or not so recently. It has runes carved into his skin, which were made by Primus as he was imprisoned, and the hole in the chest is also there. It looks like my speculation from the previous video is true. We defeated Zowal, and this new model is his actual death model, the drained version. I'm guessing he either just explodes in a ball of anima energy and these are the charred remains, or somewhat like Primus uses very powerful magic to drain life out of him, meaning he just remains as a lifeless robot husk. Now, speculation aside, there is even more brand new stuff that reveals the ending in 9.2. If you want further spoiler information that the jailer is gone for good, then all you need to look at is the actual achievements available to the first 100 groups that defeat him within the Sepulchre. Previously, the title for this achievement was Famed Bane of Zowal the Jailer, which was super vague. It could really mean anything. It could mean that we just defeated him. However, this achievement title was just changed to Famed Slayer of Zowal the Jailer. Now, if that is not official confirmation, I really don't know what else you need. As you defeated Zowal, you literally get the title Slayer, meaning that he is slain and that he's defeated for good. When you combine this achievement with the death animation turning into a new model, it is all but certain that we kill the jailer and just end him for all time. Personally, if you watch my videos, you already kind of know my thoughts on this entire storyline, but it really may just be the lamest culmination in the storyline and the character progression in all of Warcraft history. I don't really want to repeat myself, a million times already said this in multiple videos, but this super mysterious mega genius was just defeated over the course of 2 patches, and he's already gone for good. Imagine if we just learned about Sargeras for the first time ever at the start of Legion and we just defeated him in Argus. Even in that case, his storyline would have been better and actually longer in terms of the patches. The only reason why the Burning Legion storyline was so good was because it has been in the background for over 15 years. It was really built upon. Sargeras was a super developed character. Of course, we still need to wait for the details to be released so that we know what the jailer's background is, but it turns out that Zowal is now just a non-functioning robot. I can't help but get some Toy Story vibes from this entire storyline. However, I can't really say that it is really against what is already established in the lore. As you know, almost every race is a creation of someone else, although I do think it is a bit lame that this super intelligent guy is literally just an automaton, a robot in his core. It really just feels like so much wasted potential. Seriously, he could have had just a bunch of other motives, as if he was wrong, wanted to recreate the universe to be right, break the tyranny of the first ones, but at the moment, everything is just indicating that Zowal is literally just a bad batch of robots gone rogue, and now he took out his core and there is really nothing empowering him, or we took out his core and he's just gone. Obviously, we will need to see the final fight to see how this transition happens from the jailer to this robot, but it does seem like he's drained in some way and that he's just gone for good. Thank you for watching. Check out Discourage be a new ally race by clicking on the screen, and check out the Ron's Academy for videos on real world history. See you next time.